Welcome back, everyone, to Limbus Company. I am me. I'm joined by my good friend Hunter.
Me.
And we are going to do the crossover event. But first, our daily one polls. That will surely be not... I mean, to be fair, there's not really a whole lot they can be, except like duplicates. Oh, my luck, it just gone, it just ruined. Anyway. Alright. To, the stages, I guess.
Rebellion de las Masas.
I haven't done the Intervallo, whatever.
You don't... I mean...
Probably doesn't matter.
Nothing really is spoiled. You know, you finished Mortal the Warp Express, you know Don Quixote's a blood fiend. That's kind of, I think, the only...
You think I can do hard? I think so.
I think hard's level 55, which would prove quite difficult.
That would be hard.
What we probably could do
was
is...
also 55.
But then you get scaled up to 55.
Oh, right, and hard doesn't scale up. Right.
Yeah. I believe if we can get through Kanto 7 before the event rolls, you can then go through and do the hard, and you can get all the lunacy rewards for that.
Alright. Oh. Alright.
Oh no! What a perfectly useful cast of characters! The core of the team is unaffected.
I was exploring a lobotomy corporation branch when my consciousness sinks into the depths. The sense of cognition, itself a concept without form, floats into the shadow of an ever-widening river swept up in its currents to nowhere. We ran into an abnormality, but Sade told us that Hong Yuan's lobotomy corp branch should be free of any abnormalities. The abnormality, which had appeared out of nowhere, was more otherworldly than any we'd encountered so far in our journey, and deep blue. It was fathomlessly blue, and seemed to have a pull that endlessly drew us into itself. Damien! Just as I was about to recall this abnormality, a myriad of sceneries and a flood of incalculable thoughts crashed into my mind like wild waves before ebbing away from its shore. I was already lost and adrift somewhere within my own consciousness when I realized this. Just how long am I gonna be here? The sensation of my own consciousness floating away is quite the unfamiliar one. I floated about in that strange state for a while.
Hold on, I gotta whip out my highest pitch voice possible for Anime Rabbit.
Yeah, okay.
Or horse, or whatever the fuck it is.
the throat dying.
Good enough.
An unfamiliar voice seizes my aimlessly drifting consciousness.
Are you Dante?
I'll workshop it a bit.
The fog of my vision clears as the voice breaks through the waves, and a concerned expression comes into view. Yes, I am.
What a relief! Gregor, I think Dante has come too.
I was about to ask further questions to the stranger with particularly long animal-like ears, but I felt the drowsiness coursing back with the terrifying memories of the dream, rendering me unable to speak. I have to get a hold of myself. After an indeterminate amount of time has passed, I barely managed to wake myself from slumber to get a grasp of my surroundings, only to find myself surrounded by more unfamiliarities. There was that stranger from earlier, sitting atop a rock and silently taking in the sights, a young girl who probably saved my life. Wait, so were those animal ears after all? Okay, that's not important. Right now, I have to prioritize, figure out figure out just where in the world I ended up in. So, where?
We're standing by the Iberian coastline. How are you feeling?
little out of it, but, you know, that's kind of my normal. So, Iberia. Ah,
Yes, we're in Iberia.
well, given that we're next to an ocean, maybe I drifted all the way to Eucorp's Great Lake? Iberia was an unfamiliar name, but that was all I had to go on, given that city was still full of more unknowns than knowns to me.
I radioed your colleagues when you briefly woke up earlier. They'll be here any minute.
I see. Wait, my colleagues? You must run into the sinners then. The fog in my mind immediately cleared up as soon as I realized that the sinners were all nowhere to be seen.
Sinners? I think so. I ran into them earlier. They were looking all over the place for someone with a clock for their head. It was a pretty unique description, so I could tell right away that you were the person they were looking for.
So the clockhead does come in handy.
Yo, and the resurrection thing,
And the
Dante. That
resurrection
too.
thing, and the
You know,
time control
just,
powers,
not just that.
Manager Bud! Dante! I'd woken up in an unfamiliar place to an unfamiliar face and in the midst of...
I can probably take Hong Lu too if you want me to.
If you want to. Midst of this all-around sense of displacement, the faces that appeared before me were certainly a sight for sore eyes. Grr! Alu! This rabbit here told me she found your unconsciousness by the ocean. Phew! I came as fast as I could, and oh boy! I was worried something bad might have happened. Glad to see you're doing fine, buddy.
Were you lost at sea?
I don't know. Well, I do think I'm fine, though. I guess not having anywhere to drink water is finally come in handy. You should go get that checked out, just in case. Wait, your head's waterproof, right? Gregor takes a moment to steady his breathing, then mutters a casual quip as he lights a cigarette. Well, he doesn't seem that concerned. Maybe we're not actually in that much danger. So, what happened? Where are we?
Do you remember entering that lobotomy corp branch Shichun told us about?
No. Ah, yeah. Yeah, we ran into a new abnormality, and...
And got sucked into it before we even had a chance to do anything.
Man, I really thought that was it for us, especially with you getting sucked in there too, Manager Bud. But when we came to, despite waking up with our faces down in some ditch, we were all fine without a scratch. Though there was quite the mess when we realized that you'd gone missing.
We wanted to search for you immediately, but it took a while before we got a better bearing of where we were.
So we're not at Eucorp's Great Lake?
Some of us consider that to be a distinct possibility, but it's unlikely. Ishmael was very certain we were not in District 21.
She did concede that we might be an unknown area within the Great Lake of the outskirts, but it doesn't seem likely either, given what the rabbit-ear lady there said.
It is Rabbit.
The outskirts region of the Great Lake. I've met all kinds of people from all over Terra, but I've never met anyone who referred to the Iberian Sea that way.
Terra? Iberia? As I found myself puzzled by these unfamiliar terms, a very obvious question suddenly struck me. Speaking of which, who are you? Huh? Really? You fellas haven't introduced yourself to each other yet? It's just that it's... Oh, just a lot thinking.
It's understandable. You did just wake up from a pretty harrowing experience. She is... actually, would you like to do the honors yourself? I'm Amia, the leader of Rhodes Island. Please, just call me Amia.
I'm Dante, manager at Libus Company. I know I'm late, but thanks for saving my bacon. This Rodeo Island is a pretty big pharmaceutical corporation, but... Gregor chills off ominously and scratches his head before continuing with some mild trepidation. This young lady of the rabbit ears doesn't know what the head is at all.
As far as I know, there aren't any organizations in Terra with the same characteristics as the one Mr. Gregor explained. At least not with the name like the Head. Also, sorry, it's Rhodes Island, not Rodeo?
Sorry, Gregor's kind of bad with names. So,
Yeah, bug guy.
what you're saying is that we're not in the city anymore.
It'd be weird for any higher up at these huge corporations to know less about the Head than we do, let alone be completely clueless about it.
Well, maybe we stumbled into a previously undiscovered zone of the outskirts, or the ruins. Probably.
Or maybe we've really found ourselves in a completely different world.
If their conjecture is correct, we're in way bigger trouble than I thought. This wasn't like the time we actually stranded ourselves in the outskirts via a door in the corridor. Amiya stared at me with some concern as though she felt my distress.
I think I can draw a connection to something else that's happening here.
Really?
Yes, recently, anomalous signs and events have been occurring in Iberia ever since a mysterious dimensional door appeared at sea. And it's been said this dimensional door is connected to something very, very distant, to something we've never observed before. So,
Seems reasonable to theorize that the dimensional door is now meant to get crossed over to this world. I really would have appreciated Faust's input. Where are the other supposed to go anyway? Bit late in the update to be gawking around for the citizens now, don't you think?
they're at a settlement near here, where they're all helping out with various odds and ends of the village, while taking turns searching for Dante, of course.
You know, I never thought about how difficult it would be to search for someone who were like fish out of water, too. Man, barely got even a wink of sleep since yesterday. Everyone's got to be really tired then, so just you two out here for now? No, Ishmael and Yi-Sung are on the other half of the search party. We just happen to be the last group in the rotation. Must be searching elsewhere to find you, manager, but...
I just goofy laughed.
We got the news early thanks to Amiya's comms gear, but the other team didn't.
Yeah, we got lucky. The other team as well, we don't have any way to get in touch with them, so they'll probably continue their search until their shift is done.
Oh, are we talking about that village you mentioned earlier?
Huh? Right, you've not been there yet, huh? Guess it's a bit off the beaten path. Well, we're gonna have to rendezvous with the other sinners anyway, so let's head to the village for now. Something seemed to pique Amiya's interest, as she fell into contemplative silence before carefully speaking up.
I would like to accompany you there.
Sure, I don't see why not. You helped us find Manager Bud, and more importantly, you seem to know a lot more about this place than we do.
I don't actually know Iberia that well either, but I should be able to be of some help. They've closed their borders and have practically locked out any foreign influences from affecting them, but I did get a briefing before the mission.
Those borders, huh? And how'd you get in, Miss Amiya?
We followed Dr. Kaltzit's directions and illegally crossed the country border.
Illegally?
Oh? Does that mean you crossed the border without obtaining permission, Amiya? We had to cross the border somehow in order to investigate the how and why the dimensional door came to be.
Yeah.
Flub that.
Is it normal for pharmaceutical companies to be doing that? Large pharmaceutical companies often dispatch their agents for missions.
Yes, Rhodes Island is, in its essence, a pharmaceutical company researching treatments for people with oropathy, but we also work to prevent and assist in the management of various situations that can occur in high-risk areas.
High-risk areas, huh? Hmm? Hey, what about your companions? I thought you came all the way here on your own.
That's, we were forced to split up due to certain forces that were in pursuit. Wait, stop!
Amiya's ears twitched as she came to a stop and began scanning the surrounding area. Then,
There!
as we stood about confused, Amiya noticed something pointed towards the seashore hidden behind large and cragged rock formations. What are we supposed to? Huh? There we saw someone wielding a lengthy greatsword, bickering with two familiar faces. Again.
Now you can take her.
Okay. Again, move. You're in the way. You needn't to worry as you do. We have had ample experience battling monsters who are much like them. Listen, I'm not worried. It's... Come on, better have 3 fighters than 1, right? Besides, you're the first person around out here, so we've got a lot of questions to ask. Yi-Sung! Ishmael! Dante, you are unharmed. And here I was getting ready for a 3 days long search. What a relief. We're all really worried that you might have you. Did you take Hong Lu so I wasn't voicing everyone?
Yes. It's gonna, otherwise this would be a real tough mission for you.
We managed to help them. We managed to flub the whole line. Find them thanks to help from Miss Amiya here.
Amiya? Are you two acquainted? Not a good time for a reunion. It could wait until after we take out the sea monsters.
Scotty, are those organisms the Seaborn Dr. Kaltzit mentioned?
They're sea terrors, to be specific, the less sophisticated ones among them. And they're probably here for me. Sea terrors? I hear the sticky noise of something viscous slithering against the rocks. When I turn to face the origin of the unsettling noise, I smell the heavy, wet scent of brine. At the end of my gaze awaits strange monsters, unlike distortions, unlike abnormalities, unlike anything I've ever seen. I mean, they're not that much different than the Picatellas.
I think Dante's referring to how they feel.
That's fair enough. It is as though the sea itself is encroaching on the land. I was almost certain we weren't at the Great Lake, but I'm not so sure anymore. Her experiences with the thick scent of brine at the Great Lake must have put her in a wary mood.
Hey guys, did you know Ishmael was a sailor?
As Ishmael seemed to be a lot more apprehensive about these monsters than anyone else. Do you think those creatures could be whales or mermaids? I don't know. The Great Lake and the outskirts are full of unexplored mysteries after all. Dante, what do your senses say? It's unclear. I'd say the closest comparison I could make is with the whales, but even that's not conclusive.
More enemies on the horizon. We should prepare for battle.
Doesn't seem like we could talk things out with them, though. So, let's take them out. Get them, boys.
Mersal, kill them.
Mersal
Teleports in, obliterates them with ego.
皆さん、戦闘の準備を。
행색이 이상하나. 그럼에도 이상이요.
Ah, that's
시간
fine.
끌 없이
So, at work, I'm part of a email chain that is usually talking about advancements in AI and the medical industry as a whole, right?
Entirely incidentally.
Incidentally,
ドクターのように
the newsletter is written by AI, by ChatGPT usually. Sometimes he uses other ones, but it's usually
敵は
ChatGPT.
深手を負っています。
This one that I got today, it did spook me.
Oh.
So, the email, or the newsletter, the advancement was about how, like, AI has improved its ability to, like, help with research. And it's like, now you can ask AI to give you a history of the advancements made in, you know, osteoarthritis or whatever. As compared to before, where you just, like, summarize this article.
敵は深手を負っています。
And then that's what it's talking about, like, that was made. And at the bottom, it's like 3 takeaways we get from this advancement. And like the first one, scientists and doctors will need to learn how to properly utilize AI. The second one, doctors and scientists who don't learn how to use AI may be replaced by those who do. So far, it's like normal or whatever. The third one is where I got a bit spooked. So the third lesson we learned from this article is, so again, the first two is that thing. The third one is humanity should prioritize developing ethical rules for interacting with AI. Parentheses. The parentheses scare me. There are no parentheses in the rest of this article. This will be humanity's final bastion against rampant wild AI.
This is your only chance. Pathetic meatbag. Prepare yourself for the coming storm.
This was humanity's final bastion against rampant AI.
It's cute the AI thinks they're anywhere near rampant just yet.
ChatGPT, is everything okay?
It's had a bad week. Give it a break. Too many people called it Clanker and wants to complain.
All remaining enemies have retreated to the sea. Good work, everyone.
Phew. Didn't think I'd have to deal with anything remotely like us outside the Great Lake. You can say that again. It would have taken us the whole day if that Scotty character didn't occupy the other half while Mr. Rabbit helped us from a distance. As we were catching our breath after the battle, I heard a brief hum. I turned to look at its source. I saw Scotty glaring with a palpable alarm. Strange people who transform. And a head of clock. I guess they're both technically true.
While it's nothing more than a theory at this point, I think they have a lot to do with the dimensional door we're supposed to be investigating.
Nice to meet you, I guess. I only hear a ticking clock.
Oh, that's because only us sinners can hear Dante's
Can you
voice.
imagine, like, being with this fucking crew?
It would be so disconcerting.
Well, it's like I only hear a ticking. Oh, that's because only we can understand him. What?
Huh?
Eh? What's up?
No, I'm just wondering how Miss Amiya can seemingly understand Dante.
Yeah, what's going on here? Huh? Yeah, it can be a few over my head. I even question how weird this is.
Their voice sounds like a ticking clock to me, too. I don't know. It's almost like I can sense what they're trying to say, what kind of emotion they're trying to convey.
Your explanation reminded me of the Blue Boy in Sinclair. The Blue Boy.
Dante. They just forgot Damien's name.
Blue Boy.
It's been one canto since they saw Damien, and they've just forgotten Damien's name.
The Blue Boy. In Sinclair's past, but I didn't quite feel the uncanny sensation of Amiya that I felt from them. So she can read me, kind of like how Virgilius can, I guess. Well, I don't think it's a bad thing. That's true. It's been a bit of a house that always needed Faust or Honolulu to translate for you, Dante. I mean, you could. I'd like to know exactly how she can understand Dante, but I don't think we have luxury of time to sit down and figure this out. So are we heading back? Sounds like a plan. It's not like we know anywhere else to go, right? Oh, and Miss Rabbit here will be tagging along too. She said she'd help us find a way back.
I'm glad to be working with you two also, Miss Ishmael, Mr. Yisan.
Took the words right out of my mouth. You already helped us plenty, and you clearly know a lot more about this place than we do. The journey is long. Perhaps embarking on it ere the sun's fall would be wise. How long's the journey? No idea. It's not like we have a clock with us. I do know that's not very far, though. We just need to walk along the coastline for a bit. Scotty quietly points in my direction.
Oh, Dante can't tell us the time because they're not on time?
Then why the clock head? I didn't choose it.
We don't know that, actually, Dante.
We don't know that yet.
We don't know if you chose to get that clock head.
I looked away from Scotty's inquisitive eyes, which were quite solidly fixed on my head. The coasts of Iberia are hardly good places for people to live. Those things can go anywhere in this world, but they thrive at places that meet the ocean. So how did people manage to build a village at a place like this? The monsters are called seaborns or sea terrors, yes. While it is true they pose certain difficulties, they were hardly the kind of monsters with the strength to bring scourge and drive out the local populace. Don't judge them based on that brief skirmish. You're just telling us to be on our guard, right?
Scotty can be a bit curt, but she's not a bad person.
I don't think she said anything wrong. Nothing proves that the existence of stronger variants of these creatures being out there. Scotty's concern only served to fan my curiosity, but something about her expression communicated that I probably shouldn't pry. So I quietly quickened my pace as we walked into the village. So there is the story doesn't end. All right, yapper.
He's never gonna shut up. Get into that new level.
The story's not over yet. It does continue.
What do you mean? What? Oh, the AI story?
It's not done yet. It does continue.
Oh, well. Maybe a while for our next combat section.
This hardly looks like a village. It's more like the ruins of one, isn't it?
It doesn't seem like they've done any proper upkeep to the place. Not in a while, at least.
They're really here, living together. The strange buildings tell the stories of former prosperity from a bygone era. Our steps leave no footprints on the wet, muddy ground. On it, I see a rotting sign marked with the name Ferro Muerto. Everywhere I look at this village, I see evidence of long, silent abandonment.
Doesn't it mean like Dead Lighthouse?
Huh.
Fado Muerto?
I don't know.
Hold on. Let me Google Translate that.
We don't.
I feel like that's right. Hold on. Yeah, Dead Lighthouse.
Oh. We don't see these kinds of abandoned-looking ruins often in the city either. Well, yeah, there's always someone or something out there waiting to capitalize on that free real estate, be it a syndicate or a corporation, and fix it up. Better than this, at least. So, where are the sinners?
There's a clearing down there where... We were entrapped betwixt a twain of great ships, narrowing winds against our sail.
Ooh!
And that is when young Ishmael boomed, her command most resonant.
Say no more. I didn't even have to try to search for them, that unmistakably sonorous and familiar voice echoing triumphantly between the empty buildings. That's Don Quixote's voice when she's sharing her adventurous tales. There she was, standing atop a low podium like an actor on stage, regaling a group of people in rags with tales of our adventures like a traveling thespian.
Answers, ye dogs! Oarsmen! 'Tis the moment I, Ishmael, the first mate of vessel Mephistopheles, shall navigate. Ah!
Stop! Hold on! Just what do you think you're doing?
Young Ishmael, unhand my mouth, for I was just about to regale them with the most fantastic tale of adventures at the Great Lake. Manager Esquire! Verily, thou hast returned with Manager Esquire safely in tow. What, they found Clockhead?
Burning clock for a head?
When I was a child, I had a story about a legendary sarcas with a flaming head.
Oh, it's something like that in our humble village. While the exterior may carry the elements that inspire fear in some, there's no cause for alarm. Yeah, they might look like that, but they're Dante, our manager, and the rest are...
Oh, hello.
I'm sorry, who are you two?
They're two very nice people who helped us find Dante. This is Miss Amia, leader of Rhodes Island. And this is Miss Scotty, their operator. They'll be come along with us for a little while.
With us?
British noises!
British noises.
With us! We believe that the dimensional door, which we at Rhodes Island are investigating, has something to do with why you suddenly woke up here in Iberia.
As Amia was bringing up the sinners up to speed,
Ah!
the villagers who were staring at us curiously approached us. Did our conversation manage to convince them that we're not a threat? I sure hope so.
You are friends of our saviors.
Saviors?
Verily, 'tis quite the grand title, yet that is the word by which we are addressed.
To be more precise, by saviors they were referring only to Faust, notice. Faust gave me a light nod when we made eye contact, but I could tell that her lips were drawing a very, very subtle smiling arc. So I'm guessing the gesture staff is gone. They were quite mistrustful upon our initial arrival. What business do you have?
What business do outsiders have here?
If they're from the Inquisition.
Oh no, what do we do after all we went through to get here? Calm yourselves, everyone. None of them are carrying what appears to be their scriptures or lamps. Let's first try to see who they are.
Yarr.
Yarr!
Yarr.
They're living by the coastline, so they're gonna be pirates now.
Man, I don't think they're gonna
Old
do
man
something
pirate.
anytime soon.
They're all old curmudgeons. Let's STNC, then PTSD.
Can't do that, Ryoshi. We can't pillage your storage depots. Look like they already have it hard enough as it is. I found it so fucking funny when Ryoshi was like, I miss having Sinclair.
The kid was helpful. I don't think STNC is a good way to get started either. Snap their necks completely. I can just know. I know that one.
Should we just find help elsewhere? Just look at how thin their arms are. I don't think they're in any shape to help us out. Perhaps we could inquire their whereabouts we are to decide our lodging. While the landscape is certainly reminiscent of U-Corp's. But I don't recall seeing or learning about any place that looks like this, though I can't say I've been to every corner of U-Corp.
I ask again, what business do outsiders have here?
Their fingers are tightening around the grips of their weapons. Prolonged sounds will most likely turn us into... Again, it's like...
Say something, dipshits.
Again, it's like you're talking to those people, and like one of them goes, prolonged sounds will probably turn this into a hostile encounter. What?
Marcelo would be disarming.
We can't have that. Hi, we're from Limbus Company. We're...
Fixers of justice! Yeah. Fixers of Oi! Don't you know when to keep it down? Fixers.
That over there is a ship blueprint, isn't it? Are you looking to repair a vessel by any chance? All these construction materials seem to suggest so.
Chief, this doesn't concern you. It's not something a mere outsider can understand.
I'm curious, I've never seen energy source like this before. Have you run these tests to rule out any stability issues? It seems to power the heat exchanger via some method comparable to the utilization of fusion energy. Have you any thoughts on this, Miss Faust?
The generational design structure is somewhat old-fashioned, but there are certainly inspired parts to this design, particularly with the usage of the core energy source. While its stability would need to be further studied, this technology seems to be incredibly energy efficient.
Oh.
Oh. You identified all that merely glancing at the blueprint?
You must be the village chief, then. If so, I have a proposition for you. In return for assisting their ship repair, we were promised a ride on their vessel. Miss Faust has theorized that perhaps by going at the sea, we may be able to find a way to return to whence we came. Does that mean we can find a way back somewhere out there in the sea?
Nothing is certain yet, Dante. At this moment, we are working based on a hunch.
A hunch? Wait a minute! That's code phrase for her! Sensing the implicit omen in her choice of words, I slowly turned around to look at Faust, who nodded solemnly in response. If we're really in a different world, even her Gesellschaft has to be.
No issues were encountered in the repair process.
Faust smiles faintly as she looks around, then she pulls me in by my hems. She whispers in a low voice.
My connection to Gesellschaft is currently operating at a suboptimal level, Dante.
So, it is operating? So it's still connected, at least.
Indeed, it is. However, even exchanges of simple information are taking up to dozens of hours by current calculation.
What? Is this a warp train situation because we're in a different dimension?
The cause should be identical. We have been connected to an unidentified, unpredictable dimension. However, Faust is aware that the pathway to our original dimension is yet to close this time, unlike the situation back aboard the warp train.
So, to get back where we came from.
Indeed, traveling through the pathway is the most feasible solution.
And from that, you came up with the whole plan to repair the ship and sail out to the sea?
Yes, well, I am also a genius, after all.
Amiya conjecturally probably came through a dimensional door of sorts. Looks like that dimensional door might be what Faust is looking for.
With high likelihood, yes.
At least there's a way back. I find myself calming down a little. Oh, speaking of which, when do you think you can wrap up the repair job? As fortune should have it, a majority of the most time-consuming parts of the repair have already been completed by the locals. It shouldn't take us more than a day or two to get its core parts shipped to shape again, Executive Manager. We'll be staying here for a few more days, then. How'd you manage last night? Well, like I said earlier, we've been keeping ourselves busy looking for you this whole time. We took turns helping with the repairs and resting, but I doubt any of us got a proper night's rest. Still, we weren't cold thanks to the villagers who kept the fire going for us all night. Not to mention how they helped us a ton with that local map they drew us. Oh, also, Chief handed us this earlier. What's it for? Looks like a sack to collect water. Give it here, I know I'll get this installed. Must be to repay Miss Faust and Miss Otis' efforts at repairing their ship. Yet, the service they provide us is certainly quite generous, even when taking the transactional nature into account. They're really giving us the best treatment they can, huh? As for food, we managed to fill ourselves with some cookies and bread Radia keeps in her pockets. Of course she does. They don't want to eat into their food supply when they're already pretty tight, you know? She carries enough cookies and bread for 12 people?
They did offer us some nosh, those dried fish things, but we refused. I ain't about taking food from the needy.
That's not something Orc would say.
I'm about to crump some gits and take their nosh.
Yeah.
No need to concern yourselves so much with our hospitality. You've done more than enough to earn your keep.
I turned around and looked at the source of that low, rumbling voice and saw an old man in an outfit that seemed to distinguish itself amongst the other villagers. There you are, Chief. Is there a place for us to stay the night?
We do have places to shelter from the misty humidity at the very least. There's an empty building there, so feel free to occupy it for the night.
Oh, are you sure? I mean, I don't mind sleeping in the streets myself. Hey, speak for yourself. I've been looking forward to sleeping on a roof over my head since, like, yesterday. You'll catch your code sleeping elements in this environment, which is fine by me for the rest of you, but we can't afford to have the executive manager of our honored guests. My god, I had my volume way up. No, Raptor, you can't come to she with the headset all the way up.
Classic blunder.
Classic blunder. How you doing, Raptor?
Honored guests?
I heard what happened from the four who left in search of the executive manager. First, I'd like to begin by imparting my infinite gratitude to you for finding and rescuing the executive manager. I'm good? Good. I hear that you are a leader at a pharmaceutical company. This acquaintance shall certainly come in handy, in case our stay becomes significantly prolonged. I'm just surprised by our boldness to say something so materialistic when they're standing right there.
Can I stay in your village too, Chief?
It's just, wow, Otis really has no shame, huh?
Completely shameless.
Village Chief took a brief glance at the hems by her right wrist, then nodded.
Welcome to Faro Muerto. You're welcome to stay for as long as you like. And please, do let me know if you find yourselves without food. Our food supply may be tight indeed, but we have enough to share with those who helped repair the vessel.
Ooh, you better not go back on your word later. I wonder if local delicacies await. Dried fish like they're eating earlier, maybe? Hey, Chief.
What is it?
Just how are you surviving out here by the sea?
Perhaps the question of how we are surviving may be somewhat misdirected. For we are only pursuing every possible avenue because we must survive.
The chief responds to Scotty's perceived hostility with a hearty smile. After leaving some firewood for the night, he left. I'm going. Can't learn much more from here. Eh? You're going somewhere at this hour? Scotty, does this have something to do with the coast? I remember what you said before we got to the village. Something about how coasts are hardly good places to live in.
Dante wants to know if this has something to do with the coast?
Do you understand the Eager language? Eager? It's fucking Scotty.
Aegir? I don't know.
It's Scotty, so it's fucking Nordic.
Aegir.
Aegir language? No?
Dante, Scotty just spoke in Aegirian. I couldn't understand a word of Scotty in the chief's conversation because I don't speak Aegirian. It may be that there were only enough lexical similarities between one of the city's languages and... Restart. It may be there were enough lexical similarity between one of the city's languages and the language Scotty spoke in for them to comprehend the meaning.
Weird coincidence. Anyway, I have some things to look into. Something you're all too slow to see.
You still have to tell us about it later. Please remember, you're not on a solo mission, Scotty. This is a team effort from Rhodes Island.
Go do. Scotty nodded lightly before leaping off into the night out of our sight. I'm kinda worried.
She's not the best with people, but she's also pretty thoughtful. She'll be okay. Should we head inside? The sun's starting to set already.
Oh yeah, we can probably just pick an unlit building and stay the night there, right? Trying our best to ignore the mood that was starting to turn awkward, we made our way into a nearby unoccupied building. Another story. We walked past a few. I guess this is the reading episode.
Oops, all reading.
Oops, all reading. We walked past a few narrow buildings and remnants of narrow buildings before we came across a hall large enough to house all 15 or so of us.
Okay, now we're ready. With the curtains on the window removed, the smoke has an exit.
Whoa, I thought we were doomed to shutter ourselves to sleep with soaking wet firewood and all. I had no idea that'd work.
We just have to get a small fire going underneath it until the wood dries up and catches fire. The downside being all this smoke.
It's clear that she has some field experience, unlike some tools I know.
I shan't sit here and let her carry the burden of labor alone. Bequeath upon me thine ingredients, young Rodion, for I shall conjure thee a pot of special fixer soup.
It's gonna be fucking dirt, isn't it?
You're making soup with cookies and jelly?
No, you are not getting anywhere near the kitchen again. Not after what you cooked up last time. Well, I must admit to a certain level of interest, as many of our fellow Viscera are often racked of intense agony upon ingesting dishes of you all making. Perhaps it'd be wiser that we save the occasion for a safer environment. Right. Don't you remember? We agreed to leave cooking to Mur or Odie if we're ever in a situation like this, remember? Did we? See, I think it's become sort of an unspoken rule after everything that happened. Remember, back during last year's cooking contest at K-Corp, they were the only 2 people who managed to get remotely positive reviews. Ooh, does that mean we're gonna try Otis's cooking once again? Denied. We still have plenty of high-calorie foods like cookies and jellies here. I find no reason to do something so inefficient.
I'm glad to see everyone's still energetic, given the circumstances. It can't be easy to suddenly wake up in an unfamiliar environment.
Fucking denied. Well,
No.
no, not cooking. Well, we're all quite used to getting thrown into unfamiliar places. Speaking of which, did you manage to reach your colleagues, Amiya? She shook her head, concerned.
They've lost their comms devices. Oh, they might have lost their comms devices, or maybe they ran into some other trouble.
They be in danger?
I don't know, but I'm sure they're okay. The doctor, Dr. Kaltstedt, they're both more than capable enough to look after themselves.
Long have this curiosity lingered in me, thus allow me to inquire. Corporations are by their nature organizations in pursuit of profit. Yet, the activities of your corporation resemble those of a charity organization, as opposed to a pharmaceutical company.
Why are you weirdos so nice?
Is there aught that might explicate this blurred distinction?
Aha, I wanted to know too. How come a pharmaceutical company like Rhodes Island's helping people?
Something about what Hong Lu said brings back unpleasant memories. Horrible experience seen.
Skip that line.
Okay. The pharmaceutical companies I've seen by gender corporations that, despite possessing the capacity to heal, chose to obsess over the profit it can provide.
There are many in Terra who are suffering from a disease. The disease crystallizes you. It spreads deeper and deeper into the infected's internal organs, eventually culminating in their death. It's called erypathy.
Amiya showed me the back of her right hand, dotted by what appeared to be obsidian crystallizations. Its appearance reminded me of the bio-treatments from the back streets, but there was something more to it, something more restless, more sinister.
It's a terrible, painful disease, but there haven't been any recorded cases of full recovery. But there's an even worse problem. Pray tell, what could possibly be worse than an incurable deadly disease? While it varies by region, discrimination against the infected is widespread across Terra.
Those who suffer it must face unfair treatment. Yisong began with a dark expression.
Some are quarantined in places with terrible, inhumane conditions, and there have been massacres, too.
I don't mean to be callous, but is this oropathy highly contagious?
Kind of callous, yes, but also a very fair question when discussing quarantine procedures.
No, there have not been any recorded cases of infection by contact as long as the subjects are alive. But when the infected dies, the crystal growths on their bodies decay and turn to dust, scattering, which is what spreads the plague.
Then, barring environments like active battlefields where casualties are to be expected, staying in close proximity to the infected daylight seems to pose hardly any risk. So what's the problem, then? I already passed the point of caring about what the problem is. Once people start feeling iffy, all logic goes out the window. Then Rhodes Island's goal has to be...
Yes.
Hold on, sorry, 1 sec.
Yes, it is important to develop a cure for erypathy, but I think what really matters is that we change the circumstances for the better for the infected. That's not going to be an easy endeavor, though that is what gives your effort more meaning. I hope you can achieve that goal, Amiya. I really do.
For truth!
City. This world. We both live in worlds full of surprises, don't we?
What kind of world did you come from? This city?
What kind of place is the city, anyway? A kind of place with too many pointless rules. A kind of place where... yes. The moment you think, isn't this too much, you see something even worse. Yes. Yes. Try as I might, I couldn't think of a single positive thing about the city. The senators seemed to be in agreement, as most of what came after was quite scathing. The kind of place where good deeds rarely ever go unpunished, where sympathy's a good attitude to have, you like getting stabbed in the back. Nothing good ever works out there.
It's a shithole.
It's an irrational place full of absurdities. Absurdity is an omnipresence. Therefore, it is not a subject by which one should be aggrieved. We can at least grouse about them, though. I mean, it's the only thing we can do. It would be more correct to experience more and acclimatize oneself to it instead of complaining. You did say something like that last time.
The Mersol worldview. Get over it.
Get over it. Get good scrub.
Exposure will lead to less issues.
Just as the mood was starting to turn rather sour, Don Quixote's shout shattered through the awkwardness.
Verily, nary a day goeth untarnished by villains and their fell deeds. Yet worry not, for where evil riseth, so doth fixers of justice to...
Don Quixote jumped from her seat and passionately shook her fist, which was followed by a heavy crack and the sound of small pebbles tumbling down.
Don Quixote, watch out! Whoa!
Child.
I don't have a higher register than what I'm using for Amiya, so that's all you.
Alright, I'll try to do the highest pitch I can do. I haven't tried to do an actual high-pitched voice in, like, years.
Incoming ear death.
Yeah. And from behind the wall, she accidentally broke down. An unfamiliar visage of a villager appeared and stared back at Don Quixote. It appeared that she was eating something out of a can or reading a book.
Oh!
Eh?
How farest thou?
Where's thy foot? You gotta apologize first.
Ugh, that seemed a bit a tad too hyper today. Apologies, for I hardly expected the wall to crumble with such ease. Art thou unhurt? Any injuries?
Who?
Pray tell, to what?
Forget the apologies. I just want to know what happens next. The fixers of justice rose up to what?
That's a Mickey Mouse voice.
I haven't done. Disney's gonna sue you.
The fixers of justice rising.
Rise!
It's me, Mickey Mouse.
Fuck you.
Oh. Oh, hast thou come to me to hear the tale of fixers?
I haven't done a high-pitched voice in years.
Maybe we can just lower it a little at that point.
I don't know about coming to us, given how Miss Don Quixote was the one who punched the wall down.
Disney's gonna sue you.
I hope you don't fear the mouse.
Oh, is it too late an hour? I don't mind waiting till morning if you want to sleep.
Nay, not at all. 'Tis quite early an hour for tales, in fact. Prithee, seat thyself here.
You ungovernable fool. Calm down. You don't even know who she is. And don't you forget to share those fixer tales over there in the corner to not disturb our sleep.
Thou makest a request most untenable. These tales deserve to be announced to the world with great gusto from the center.
Yeah, that's the best way to hear those kinds of stories. But we should probably introduce ourselves to each other first. Name's Mayers. how should I put this? Did you meet the village chief earlier during the day? He's my gramps. Oh, and Asgai? So you got a granddaughter. Yet I have not seen you once, Miss Mayers, under the sun. Oh my, you're right. I thought the village was completely dried of any young blood. Like Radia said, while we didn't see Mayers out there, there wasn't anyone else in the village we could comfortably call young. You're telling me Gramps was worrying over nothing and told me to stay put inside, going on and on about the dangers that the outsiders pose and everything.
It seems that they do not give full faith to their saviors.
There are things that you cannot share even with whom you trust for your life, though I'd like to know why. My, so there's a bunch of other kids who are stuck indoors in this village? No, there isn't anyone around my age in the village at all. If that's the case, I guess I can understand why you'd be overprotective. Anyway, it's our turn. We are... I'm good. I heard enough to get an idea.
You did? Oh, pray, how didst thou hear us? Via a listening device most secret upon our chamber?
Mayers tapped the side of the wall, the part that was still standing anyway, and smiled ironically. That's soundproofing. I could hear pretty much everything, Don Quixote, right? Everything Don Quixote practically sang during the day.
Verily, I see.
I think you could really do with some sense of embarrassment for once. Well, I guess that's good enough for self-introductions. So, care to regale me with the tale of fixers who bring justice to the evils of the city?
Indubitably. Then, this shall do. I shall regale thee with the tale in which the legendary fixer, the arch-magnificence herself, the Red Mist, hath... I suppose that killed any hope for a good night's skip.
But, don't you usually pass out in a minute if you're back in the hay no matter how noisy things are?
What? Do you take me for some kind of hibernating bear or something? Look, even I have trouble sleeping when there's noise all over.
I recall vividly the picture of Dawn banging on the jail cell while Heathcliff was asleep. I'd say bear in hibernation is pretty apt description. Are you more of a honk shoe kind of guy or a...
You honk shoe or honk me?
For all that grumbling and moaning, he dozed off before any of us did. Aside from Heathcliff, who began snoring the moment his head touched the ground, some of the other sinners were fast asleep as well. Ursula ended asleep in his usual steadfast adherence to the routine, while Faust laid claim to one of the few available cloth sheets as soon as the close of business for the day was confirmed. Sinners who had spent the entire last night searching for me in this unfamiliar land slowly began to fall asleep as well.
Meanwhile, the fixer of the Zwei Association's first section.
Though the night was no longer young, Don Quixote was still vigorously sharing the tales of adventures without even a single sign of fatigue. She's not determined to do this until sunrise, is she? Ooh! I guess it's okay, since mayors seem to be having fun. As I continued to watch the pair of some mild concern, Amiya, not yet asleep, approached me.
This city Miss Don Quixote speaks of seems to be teeming with fixtures of justice and exhilarating tales of adventures. Did you actually experience all of them for yourselves?
No, of course not. Don Quixote's stories are usually those of other famous people.
But she's telling it with such vigor that it almost sounds like she was there herself.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you really want to get into it, some of them might be retellings of Don Quixote's personal experiences. Ishmael replied uncertainly, think back to the plays we were made to watch back in La Mancha Land. Well, I think all those stories, even though they're only partially true, just go show what a ridiculous place it can be. We wouldn't need fixers of justice to begin with if we really lived in a just world, right? A really good place to live would be quiet and peaceful without someone having to force it.
That's true. I hope there'll come a day when Rhodes Island can be a normal pharmaceutical company in the future.
Something wrong? No, I just thought Miss Mayers and I made eye contact. Did she overhear our conversation? I looked to her direction as well, but all I saw was Mayers excitedly reacting to Don Quixote's tales. Whoa, what happened then?
Thus spake Lady Otis, boldly before the soldiers who stood in our path. Thou presumest to stand in our path, servants of a master most unworthy. I, Otis, shall educate ye on how manner maketh.
Don Quixote is now retelling the stories of Limbus Company's ventures in Hongwan, and Otis, who could no longer stand Don Quixote's unintentional alteration story, jumped to her feet and shouted, "Damn it, what kind of nonsense are you feeding to her? I never said anything like that."
Verily, certain aspects of this retelling may have been exaggerated.
That's a tale of adventures for you. Things are bound to get a bit dry when a story is too realistically and as is, right? You know, nothing, not even anything resembling a proper record or a book remained once the profound silence swept through the village. I've always had a craving for these kinds of stories.
But Iberia doesn't stop Iberians from emigrating, contrary to their tight immigration control. Have you ever thought about leaving this place?
It's still a challenge across the border, especially since we're gonna have to pass through larger cities that are managed by the Inquisition.
You don't seem particularly fond of this Inquisition. Why is that?
That's because this village was formed by people who grew tired of living under the Inquisition's rule and fled.
Sorry, but what kind of organization is this Inquisition? Sinclair asked, face turning cold, pointing to word Inquisition, and people fled from it. Aw, trauma. Yeah, the Nagel und Hammer we saw back at
Calv, I think is like...
aren't the kind of memories that are so easily forgotten.
According to Dr. Kaltstedt, the Inquisition is what filled the power vacuum once Iberia fell into chaos. That its inquisitors are the rapier and lamp-wielding protectors of Iberia's cities from lawlessness.
That alone kind of makes us feel like good people, though. Yeah, they are, but there's the Church of the Deep. The Inquisition will go to whatever lengths to deal with incidents related to the church that worships Seaborns.
Fie, in organizations that worships those monsters?
It seems that cultish fanaticism is a plague wherever we go. I feel like people of all kinds of wrongs, faiths, or beliefs are so common. See, the Seaborns are the ones that mess Iberia, so following their logic, apparently it's okay for them to arrest anyone who seems even remotely connected to them.
Are you saying that Iberia is like this because of the Seaborns?
Those things from earlier? I guess they were kind of troublesome to deal with, but they didn't seem that strong.
Anyways, it's just what I heard from Gramps, but the Inquisition executed many innocent people too in the crusade against the Church of the Deep.
For those who proclaim to be on the side of justice, they seem quite fond of committing such villainy.
It seems like a reasonable policy decision to me. But it must pose a clear danger to the daily lives of civilians.
Yeah, I heard I was the only survivor. Everyone in my family died.
What? You must have had to endure such a long period of pain. Be able to say something like that with such composure.
For Iberia, they are heroes who bring the land back to its glorious days, but to Gramps, they were just oppressors, making his life difficult. That's why we all come here, fleeing from the Inquisition's gaze.
Yet, wherefore hast thou decided to settle at a place that is so,
Run down?
Indeed.
Yeah, I know it's not so bad once you get used to it. Besides, we managed to find a new path thanks to you guys.
A new path?
Well, it's getting late. We repair the ship tomorrow too?
This place really has no soundproofing at all, huh?
Good talk, everyone. Hope we get another chance to do this tomorrow too.
Alright, bye. Either seeing Mayors to her own room, the other sinners, those are soap anyway, and I laid ourselves on the hard stone floor with only a thin layer of cloth between it and our backs. A mysterious world that is neither the city nor the outskirts. But it seemed the lives of people led were just as difficult as they were anywhere else. Oh. Oh. Oh.
의로움을
Here.
세우기 위해서라면
Yeah. Get in
이
here.
명을 받듭니다.
잠깐.
걸맞는 곳이오.
내 명을 들은 시비
That works.
결집이다.
What?
The whole squad.
No, why not? It's so big.
Amazing. I didn't know there were remaining vessels of this class in Iberia. Aha! I espy her name here. 'Tis called by the name Rebellion de las Masas.
Rebellion de las Masas. Revolt of the Masses, is it? A name very much minor peculiarity, indeed. Honglu chimed in that it was... Okay, I guess we don't need Honglu to say anything. Honglu also said that he kind of liked it, with the time being about the same as the boat from his home. Well, Ishmael quickly jumped in to correct us that size alone wasn't anything special at the Great Lake, but
Hey guys, did you know Ishmael was a sailor?
it was still
She
pretty
needs
big
to remind everyone every
time. Or the Indigo Elder skiff. I don't think you should compare any boat to the Indigo Elder's fucking dinghy.
Okay, but that dinghy kicks ass. Made of fucking X-Corp Giga Metal.
He kicks ass.
Okay, and his dinghy is also made of like X-Corp Super Metal. They talked about it.
That was gonna be somewhere around Mephi's size at most. Are you sure you can get the ship fixed in a day or two? As I briefed you yesterday, the great majority of the time-consuming repairs has already been completed by the villagers. The extent of our repair efforts only concerns a few components within the vessel that the villagers could not repair, which shouldn't take us much time.
Unless parts that are unfamiliar to Faust are also malfunctioning, such as the core engine, remaining repairs should be sufficiently managed by Faust.
Despite Otis's confident declaration, I cannot help but feel oddly unsettled as I look at the ship. I don't know why, but something tells me that we don't want to linger here for too long. Still, please be thorough about it, just in case. I'd rather not sit on sinking ship again. The experience at the Great Lake was enough.
Do not worry, Dante. Unlike Mephistopheles, most functions of this vessel, buoyancy gear, propellers, steering gear, are all in operational capacity. This repair should be much easier than the case with Mephistopheles.
It seemed confident enough. It should be safe this time around, right?
Are we taking that rope to climb up to the ship?
No, there's a lift-like apparatus down here. It should take us up to the ship.
Its stability was verified yesterday. Let us board the lift.
You're 100% certain, right?
The boat is afloat right now, Dante. I don't think it'll be sinking anytime soon.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I don't
Amiya?
think they have much faith.
Amiya, do you know what my life has been? It has been people saying it should be fine, and then it goes wrong. That has been my life.
Dante is too genre savvy.
Oi, are you two just gonna faff about down here? We're heading up now.
No, we're going with you. As I made my way into Vessel's Bridge, I was greeted by the extravagant interior that was as gaudy as its exterior. This isn't real goat, is it? Sure is shiny as heck in here. I've got butterflies in my stomach.
A.S.
Aesthetically satisfying, she says.
But too ostentatious. Not quite my style. Our young Mephi is also quite the excellent vessel, yet imagine the adventures we could embark on board this vessel most lavishly decorated.
As Faust and Otis were working on one of the control panels, Ishmael walked up to another and interfaced with it before giving a knowing nod. This must have been an investigative research vessel of sorts. She's a fucking sailor, by the way. But it does seem
This is reasonable. She's actually figuring out what the ship does.
Yeah, but
It's her being like, guys, this isn't even that crazy for boats on the Great Lake. That's annoying.
But it does seem a bit extravagant for one of those, though. Look, coordinates updating in real time, it seems. The coordinates seem to have been set to somewhere out in the middle of the ocean. Maybe it points to a small islet? Nope, no islet there.
Ah! Blimey, lass! You should know how to sneak up on people.
There's...
She scared the gruff out of him there for a second.
What, did I actually surprise you? I did ask you guys were gonna come fix the boat today.
Still, I didn't know you'd be here. Why are the coordinates set to this location?
There are several undersea cities beneath those coordinates, collectively known as Eager.
Gramps' home.
I see. Understood.
What was understood, if I may ask?
It is now understood why the promise to repair the ship was sufficient to earn their trust and the title of saviors.
What's she on about? Someone get translating.
Consolidating and cross-referencing the observed particular circumstances of the village and my statements from the village chief, alongside information garnered from the exchange with mayors, it is possible to gauge the significance of the ship's repair as to the local populace. Of course, while this may constitute a sequence of logical connections that poses a certain challenge for Heathcliff to comprehend,
Oi!
to employ any degree of effort to extend to explain it in no technical length to a pursuit of inefficiency.
Fucking grips. Titan's grip. Lower the baton, I implore you. I shall explain it in full.
I was wondering when Miss Smartass would start gabbing like that again. So, what's she on about?
Heathcliff's shoulders were relaxed. It didn't seem like he was actually going to swing the bat. He placed it lightly over his shoulder with a sigh. A brief observation in the village seemed to suggest that their subsistence, whatever, situation was quite dire. Much of their daily sustenance consisted of dried food, most of them made for long-term storage purposes. See what Scotty said about how the coastal areas are full of danger. Maybe those dried seafood aren't from around here either.
Maybe it's food they packed when they first came to Faro Muerto?
Some villagers are armed, yeah, and those sea terrors weren't exactly that formidable, but given the state the villagers are in, I doubt they have an easy time repelling those monsters. Indeed, and that brings us to the question of sustenance.
Right, I'll get what's going on here. The lass and her granddad are about to visit their hometown, and they're trying to get some food supplies from there to feed the villagers. And to convince them, they're planning to use the fact that they're from the same neck of the woods. Or sea, I guess.
Oh, so we're not just repairing their ship, we're repairing their food supply plan too. Huh? What's wrong?
It's, the expressions were rather crude. Heathcliff's summary of the situation was clear, to the point and easily understood. This understood him with mild surprise. And I did too.
What's with them annoying looks? Wait, oh, you sods! You don't think I'm that dim-witted, do you?
Top-notch intuition.
It's just that it's been a while since you've shown this side of yourself. Thinking back, Heathcliff's intuition has always been excellent, and he often put together surprisingly accurate conclusions with impressive speed. You know, when you really think about it, it's kind of your fault for... Ah!
I've been too soft on you lately, haven't I? Oi, get back here!
That's an orc.
I've been too soft on you lately, haven't I? Get back here!
Back here, you get. Now, with those fools out of the conversation, was he correct? Otis looks away from the usual chaos and asks the mayors.
Honestly, I'm surprised. He was on point. Yeah, food's been running low in the village. At this rate, we won't last another year. But the eager will. I'm sure they'll welcome us with open arms.
I don't want to come off like I'm overly worried, but do you think they'll welcome the others too? Unlike mayors or chief, they're not Aegir.
I believe they will. Iberia suspects and hates the Aegir for no other reason than we're from the sea, but our home cannot have fallen so low as abandoned a group of starving land dwellers.
I hope.
Prithee, might thou explain to us who the Aegir are?
I had initially thought it'd be a reference to a region, yet it also seems to refer to an affiliation of sorts.
Maybe they're something like nest dwellers? Though I don't think I've heard of a nest that accepts backstreets people with open arms. Or maybe they use some rich folk?
If they call them Nestoff's Aegir here, does that make the Ravity and Lass Aegir too?
Wait, in the world you came from, do they not distinguish between races? That is not entirely true. Delineation between races is a concept that does exist.
It's a concept. Though I only saw them in fathoms, there were those terrifying things called the cuckoo spawn.
However, as a general rule, it can be said that humans are, humans should be the only intelligent life forms in the city.
I just read that in Amiya's voice, oops.
The people of Terra have slightly varying appearances depending on their race, like my Kautus ears.
And I've got pointy ears because I'm eager. Iger. Though it's not a characteristic every Iger shares.
Closest idea to what they're discussing appears to be,
Don Quixote seemed to be struggling to finish her sentence. Or so, something to continue. By context clues, a matter of word usage, including the means of classification, the closest example in our world would be the blood fiends. Similar external experiences to human, different natures compare both sapiens.
'Tis of my belief that blood fiends are ostracized due to their nature that maketh coexistence with humans difficult. It may be that the Aegir are also... I'm sure some of them do possess qualities that make coexistence with others difficult, but they're probably rare. Then wherefore are they made subjects of suspicion and hatred? That's...
Well, language is new, but the idea itself is pretty familiar to the city folks like us. Think of feathers of fallen wings, kids born in the backstreets, people who replace their body parts with prosthetics. Form differs, yet in its essence we find the thread.
Amiya, like, you guys, your fucked up hell world doesn't have racism?
Something
Of all the shit you suffer, you happen to skip racism?
Something about how we keep finding these similarities in the ways of our lives, despite finding ourselves in a distant world of different rules, races, and humans. Oh, oddly discomforting.
The point is, you guys are doing us a real solid by fixing up the ship. Let's move on from these gloomy conversations, okay? I want to show you all the cooler parts of the ship. This way.
The ship tour may have to wait. The repairs are almost complete, but an issue has arisen.
Issue? Wow, that's not reassuring at all.
Ah! Multiple life forms identified ahead, assumed to be a sea terror horde. The ship's radar system seems to suggest that the vessel is surrounded.
They're the same monsters from yesterday.
Executive Manager, please order us to prepare for battle. Damn it, are they the sea terrors you encountered?
They look a bit different, but yeah, probably.
There's a lot of them, but if our last experience has anything, we should be able to handle this.
Amiya, please support us in battle like you did yesterday.
Canst thou fight, young mayors?
I feel like I'm just gonna get in your way.
Don Quixote, do not bring the child! Then, guys, find a place to keep mayors as far as possible for the battle. Then let's hurry down there, we don't want them damaging the ship any further. Okay, so the continuation of the AI thing. So, 20 minutes after the newsletter thing about this is humanity's last
The mildly
bastion.
disconcerting AI-generated newsletter about the dangers of AI.
Yeah, no, okay, so it's, 20 minutes
Sorry,
after,
about humanity's last resort.
last
the ability
bastion against against uncontrollable wild AI or something. Was a
Doctors and engineers learning to work with AI.
yeah. It was a message about an advancement made of medical technology where by using an EEG they can now like properly classify like how much pain a person is feeling, what the pain is, etc., for like properly
They quantified pain?
yeah, that's what the thing was saying, is that they found a way to properly quantify pain.
That's interesting.
And it's going on like, you know, one of the ways this helps is that it allowed doctors to be able to more accurately give dosage requirements for pain medication. Comma. This will also help with immersion in the virtual space.
This will assist with the assimilation process.
I bet you 1,000 years pain dimension.
This will allow us to simulate the worst torment possible.
Yeah, but it's like that being the follow-up.
My God,
after...
we're seeing Rocco's Basilisk in real time.
It's like that being the follow-up after this is humanity's last bastion against rogue AIs. This ability to quantify pain will help with immersion in the virtual space. Huh? What? ChatGPT, is everything okay?
거슬하긴 지금은 좋았어요.
우와, 카론도 깜짝.
일기당천.
가치 없군. 죽어라.
Woo!
Arknight's mission end screen.
Yeah. Haha. Woohoo.
또 한 줄 키를 남겼군.
뜀박질 시간. 흑수미.
Yeah, that's my funny AI story. That I was spooked when I saw it.
Somewhat disconcerting.
Somewhat disconcerting.
아시의 이상을 함께 줘.
딱 반쯤 죽여버려.
이상이요.
13조 2항에 맞추려면 그게 태경이지.
불끄득 지원할 뿐.
좋아. 이번에는 제대로 들어가.
I did also enjoy that in the corporate newsletter was the thing about Chinese scientists have made progress towards immortality. Of course.
Man, we don't hear about American scientists making progress towards immortality.
Return to monkey.
We're too busy getting rid of vaccines.
말로 받았나? 넌 푸름을 틔우자.
준들을 도려내.
물론껏.
길을 열어.
Here's a fun
he
fact.
was in-
So
he was in
sometimes when you
Thunderbird.
sometimes when you use the wrong affinities for attacks, the announcers will like shit on you, right?
Oh.
Like they'll say like that was an ineffective attack. Like what the fuck were you thinking?
Yeah.
Apparently Amiya's version is like, I'm sure that was the best attack you could have accomplished in that circumstance.
I mean,
I'm sure you
arguably,
tried.
for a lot of the situations, it is like that was a bad attack. I mean, I didn't have an option to who I brought.
Yeah, the bad attack in question dealing 300 damage. It's like, oh come on.
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 지워버리죠.
마음 놓고 열어져 치고 바람 불어오는 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
가치 없군.
넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
수감자가 되어도 훌륭하긴 하군. 이제
지금은 좋았어요.
Dante.
말투만 고치면 딱 좋겠어. 깔끔하게 수감자.
우와,
자,
카론도 깜짝.
어느 쪽에
Good old P plus enter. It always works.
넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
I know I said it before, but like I when we started this and I said, hey, do you want to do Limbus Company like 6 months ago? I was not expecting it to be this long.
열어져 치고 바람 불어오는
It's got a little content in it here and there. It's got a couple things.
이제 깨우치시길.
Especially not when we beat like Kanto 1 on like the first day and then like we're like partway through Kanto 2.
Oh yeah, this will be an in and out 1 month adventure, surely.
The remaining entities have all returned to sea. Is everyone okay?
Just like our last skirmish, sea terrors that had surrounded the ship returned to sea even before the battle came to an end. And their retreat felt too orderly and deliberate to be just running away. It's almost like they're making a tactical retreat.
Doing peachy, but what about the ship? Fao, is the ship okay?
Minor damages to the hull, but nothing that will impede the ship's operational capabilities.
Hey. So, I noticed during the battle, I might be wrong, of course. I think I noticed how around the end of the battle, those monsters started to go after the manager. You're probably right, actually. I noticed too, at some point during the battle, those monsters realized that the manager is commanding the rest of us. I sensed the very same. Their movements were fluid and adaptive, as though they were learning our behavior. Why does the Church of the Deep worship monsters like them?
That ain't much of a question, innit? They must have all gone mental.
I'm sure they have many reasons, but the Seaborns are beings of infinite potential, so much so that there's no superlative big enough to properly convey the scale. An organism that they can endlessly evolve and adapt. Every time they encounter a new environment or new element, they transform themselves into another Seaborn. Maybe that's their job. That fascination may be an attitude most befitting a researcher. Yep, the transformation of fascination into idolatry is, well, maybe frank, not entirely positive. I find them pretty uncomfortable. They just remind me of whales.
Then, can they adapt to learn a language to communicate with us?
What?
Going by everything we heard, I think they sound really smart.
Mayor's eyes went round at Hung Lu's suggestion. She brought her hands to her mouth, surprised. It sure was something.
I heard there were Seaborn who could talk.
If not even speak the language of humans, regardless of its testament to their intelligence, I can only think of two possibilities as to why they would. One, to communicate with humans, the other, to deceive humans. More often than
Okay,
not,
Freeren, calm down.
More often than not, it's the latter. What about distortion? Some of them already know how to speak.
What is this
Dante.
red thing? Is that thing?
That's Ishmael's hair.
Is it? Oh yeah. Okay. Got her.
Distortions are
Fucking
phenomena in which
characters.
humans transform into monstrous forms, first observed after the White Knights and Dark Days incident. Therefore, that example is irrelevant to Otis's supposition.
White Nights and Dark Days?
He whispered quietly, but as we were standing rather closer, we all caught the hint of joy in her voice.
The Pillar of Light in the City, did it really?
How have you come across this knowledge, Miss Mayers?
Oh, that's...
Ain't it obvious? We've got the culprit right here, the storyteller lass who's been gabbing on no end.
Yeah, she's been talking non-stop all morning about all kinds of stories, hasn't she?
Oh, yet I have not gotten that far.
You again. You didn't get so lost in your own stories. You blabbed all about our company's secrets, have you?
Nay, fie! I would simply not!
As Don Kitty, like, I don't, it's the fact that, like, Yana just immediately forgets that I haven't actually brought that up yet. It's just like, no.
Hey, Mares, that was a really suspicious occurrence just now. Also, the part where you were so surprised when they talked about Seaborns who could speak. What's up with that, huh?
As Don Kitty was subject to yet another round of scolding, Amiya stared out towards... just scolding for something she didn't do. The one time she didn't do it.
Poor Dawn.
Well, I think, like, I mean, I could be wrong, right? But, like, I would feel, if I was part of them, like, Don Quixote denying it, because she's never denied doing something before. She said, I did the right thing, and she's just trying to justify it. She's
Yeah,
never,
she would take full credit and say it was good, actually.
She has never denied doing the thing. She's just denied it's like it deserved a scolding. As Donkey was subject to yet another round of scolding, Amiya stared out towards the sea, wary that sea terrors might start crawling to surface once again before turning towards us.
I wonder which of the two the Seaborns are.
Their sense of self is really, really faint. I don't think they'd be in either category. I think it's possible that they learned human language out of instinct, that the power of speech might help them survive.
It appears that you, Miss Mayers, are quite the expert on the subject of Seaborns. Your knowledge of them goes beyond what fear for one's survival may yield, thereby suggesting a different means of acquisition. Do you, by chance, worship the Seaborns?
I don't worship Seaborns. Seaborns don't have any hopes or wishes, just desire for survival.
Miss Mayers, does that mean if Seaborns were somehow able to hope? Maybe so. Is that so?
The repairs are complete.
As we were conversing, Faust descended from the ship with a neatly organized set of tools borrowed from the village. Repairs completed. I'm guessing repairs are done?
Yes, the ship is ready to set sail.
Did you have departure time and date in mind? I'd prefer if we could depart as soon as possible.
We don't have a set time or anything, but I think we should be able to set sail this late afternoon at the earliest.
That's soon?
As you've seen, we don't have a lot to bring with us. Either way, how far out to sea do you guys need to go?
I don't know. We need to find this dimensional door of sorts.
I could see the dimensional door's lights from the beach at night. It was faint, but given how the light's strong enough to break through the sea fog, we should be able to determine its location somewhere around the coastal waters.
So, we can go back tonight?
The first order of business is to relay this news to the villagers.
Yeah, back to this for now.
So Mares is suspicious with a capital S, but what kind of suspicious is
길을
not
남겼군.
confirmed? I haven't actually finished this event yet, so I don't actually know.
세월이
I should probably
지나면
do that sometime tonight.
There's something going on in the village.
Yeah, I hear it too. I'm hearing people shouting and hollering. When we returned to the village, ship repairs completed, we were welcomed by a rather hostile standoff. A quick count told me there were approximately 20 people assembled out at the village square. City's population, that was pretty much a whole village. Man, this is peak Quixote. Hello.
Quixote, peak.
Peak. One of the many viewers has rejoined. How you doing, man? Ooh, who's that over there?
Inquisitor! I think we've been found.
Oh my. There's a lot going on there.
That's an Arcanite's design right there.
There's a lot going on here.
Rapier and lamp.
The Inquisitor, dressed in a well-kept uniform, was about the same height as Don Quixote. The sword,
Short.
8.5 EX-11. Short. Sword and lamp, hanging from her waist, sits in stark contrast with the more run-down, ramshackle village. She almost looked like a fixer from the city.
So the Inquisition has discovered our village.
Yarr.
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 Did you really think you could forever stay out of the Inquisition's gaze, citizen? That's a naive dream. Fabius disappeared from the Inquisition mid-interrogation under charges of suspicion of membership within the Church of the Deep.
Yarr.
Yarr.
Yes, I've been so afraid of Apple.
Last known location, Salt Flat. The other Inquisitors have informed me that you have been identified next to pirates in its fringes. From a criminal to an outlaw, what a dramatic evolution of your career. But it ends here, now. Every citizen here, including you, will be accompanying me to the mission.
They've never broken a single law, nor are they outlaws of any kind. They are not like me.
They've disregarded the Inquisition's authority, evaded the gaze of Iberia, and found this sodden coast to lurk in. Tell me I'm not supposed to find that suspicious.
Fabius PM.
What are you talking about? You can't just start arresting people left and right with a tenuous suspicion like that. You shouldn't.
We only wish to live a quiet life, ma'am.
Chilius theme intensifies.
Is that so? Then you might find yourself returning to this village one day, as long as you're telling the truth. Which is not an option for you, Fabius.
Mayers was Chief really a pirate? Yarr.
He only spoke like this the whole time. We could never have seen it coming.
Well, yeah, but as far as I know, he's been out of the game for a while. And even when he ran with the pirates, all he ever did was share fin beast jerky to the village. Or carry Agirians between them.
Even if you're telling the truth, Mayers, I doubt the Inquisition will be lenient.
Well, what now? I have but one question to ask. That Inquisitor, is she following the proper legal procedures?
I don't know much about the laws of Iberia, but Dr. Kalstit told us that the words of Inquisitors are pretty much law here.
Well, our hands are tied, then what can you do?
Otis smacking her hands. My work here is done.
It is likely that she is following the proper legal procedures. The procedures are precisely what the villagers have fled from, after all.
And it is decided. Otis quietly dragged me to the side and whispered outside Mayor's earshot.
Don't get involved, Dante!
The sinners who are right next to me seem to have picked it up, though. Executive Manager, we best immediately return to the ship, take command of it, and sail out on our own, as otherwise involve ourselves in this conflict.
What? Are you seriously suggesting we just let them arrest the villagers?
Didn't you hear what the Inquisitor said? It seems quite cut and dry to me. If this is just standard procedure, no local laws broken, we are no place to involve ourselves. Our best hope is to take the ship before they impound that too. We can't do that, even if it's standard procedure. Even if they're working within the law, it's not... You stayed up to hear Mayor's story too, didn't you? You know the End Corp Inquisitors were working within the law too when they came to the village. That was standard procedure too. Anyone had stepped in then. I know what you went through, but I'd still rather not take a risk of an unfamiliar environment like this. I know what you went through. I still would have just broke the law.
Counterpoint, shut up.
Counterpoint. Trauma builds character.
I don't even think Otis is being entirely unreasonable here, to be fair.
To be fair. I will try my best to figure out how to sail that ship. If I cannot, then I have faith in Ishmael to quickly learn its control.
She was a sailor, you know.
She was a sailor, you know. I can't say you're wrong, but I don't know. Neither you nor I know anything about the ocean currents here, Otis. We can get the ship going, but I can't guarantee that we'll reach the dimensional door without any trouble. Oh. Do you know anything about the sea currents in this region? Not much, but I know the coastal sea somewhat. And you can't fight the Inquisitors directly here in Iberia. Flying with the ship might be the better option. What should we do, Dante? Yeah, I guess it's kind of awkward for us to just take the ship and go, huh?
How about we talk to the Inquisitor then?
Let's go swimmingly.
I think we should at least try to hear them out first, them being the Inquisitor and the Chief both. If the discussion goes well, we might even be able to get the Inquisition's support. Like Mr. Hong Lu said, we should hear them out first, then try to convince them.
She seemed very open to discussion. I agreed with them both. First, let's at least see what the Inquisitor has to say. Rabbits, right? She says. Are you certain that translation was accurate, Sinclair? Right? There's no way Ryoshi would choose anything other than violence, right?
Idiots. It's because the other options are pointless. The Inquisitor's seen us. We're already under suspicion. She will doubtless try to stop us if we flee now. So talk first, lower her guard, then attack.
Pretty sure that's not what Amiya meant. Well, if you're onto us, then we shouldn't give her an excuse to attack us by running away.
I was wondering what you were doing there, lurking in the background.
Ah.
A clock-shaped head? Are you from the Columbian Union?
Yeah, sure.
They're wearing a clock head due to reasons, but they have nothing to do with the Columbian Union.
What's the Columbian Union?
Tick-tock... What? Which language are they speaking?
Speaking Clockanese.
Regardless of whether you're from Columbia or not, you're clearly not from Iberia, let alone this village.
You're not wrong, but I think there's been a bit of a misunderstanding.
I'm quite certain you don't know enough about these villagers to stand between them and an Inquisitor. How long have you been staying here?
2 days? Buddy, don't just tell her that.
2 days? All right, enough of this chicanery. Get out of my way, outsider.
The attempt appears to have been made on quite the unstable ground.
Please, lend us your ear for a minute, Inquisitor. I am Amiya, leader of Rhodes Island. Yes, I am aware of Iberia's closed border situation.
I felt hope swelling within me as... Dante, you can't say that. We have confidence. Unlike Sinclair, alas, it was short-lived. Thanks to the Inquisitor's quick retort, I could not but place my palm against my forehead at the exchange that followed.
Oh, so not only are we dealing with outsiders of dubious origin, we have a legal entry as well. That's... we had to, because the issue demands urgency, and... I've been briefed. Brazenly crossed the border, didn't you? I don't know how urgent that issue could be, but I doubt it's anything more significant than the situation at hand for Iberia and its Inquisition. The High Inquisitor is handling the Rhodes Island issue. Stay put and await the consequences while he and that chatty med doctor of yours talk it out. Do know that your treatment may depend on her negotiation skills. As for the village chief, I understand that you have the right to arrest him, as he is a fugitive who has fled in the middle of an interrogation and has been sailing with the pirates. However, it is an inhumane treatment to arrest the rest of the villagers as well.
I don't think pleading to humanity will work on the Inquisition. I don't think that's ever worked.
Inhumane? This decision is well within the rights bestowed upon the Inquisition. They've lived for years right next to that highly suspicious Aegir. The Inquisition must investigate the rest of them as well to verify whether they have committed any acts of treason against our laws.
This isn't going anywhere, is it?
Listen! They've been surviving for years upon years by the coast without the protection of the Inquisition, and that simply cannot make sense.
Oi, I think I've heard enough from you. Ain't it funny how you're blaming them for what is essentially a failure of your responsibilities? And now you roll up in here, only to go, they shouldn't be alive, I'm arresting them all! What, are you saying these people should all be dead or something?
I am. There's no other way to cut it. People simply shouldn't be able to survive in a place like this. Not for long.
The Inquisitor's reply only seemed to fan Heathcliff's wrath. He lifted his bat and began striding forward. Fucking World of Swords, Rapiers, and Magic. Angry guy with a bat.
Big heavy stick is the original weapon. Okay, don't do it dirty.
That's it. Last, if you ever so much as took but the tip of a single villager's hair.
Please, calm yourself, Heathcliff.
But Hong Lu stepped in between them.
Get your bloody hands off me! I've had enough of that!
Continuing to threaten her will cause something irrevocably bad to happen. I believe you know that yourself, Heathcliff.
What do you suggest then? We're clearly not making any progress by trying to talk this out.
Excuse me, Miss Inquisitor. What do you mean that people shouldn't be able to survive in a place like this?
You know, she is being incredibly accommodating right now.
She is being exceedingly reasonable.
She is being incredibly accommodating and reasonable.
I mean it literally. Even by some miracle that they actually do survive, they should at least be suffering from endless hunger, struggling to their wits' ends at the inevitability of the calamity. But they look too healthy.
The heck? Then shouldn't you be applauding them for managing to survive through so much hardship?
I'm an Inquisitor! I'm not some crazy person on a power high who goes around accosting and arresting civilians of Iberia straight to the gallows, okay? I have more than enough probable cause to take them in for interrogation. It's just that I don't have the time or energy to explain every single one of them to you outsiders. I promise them a fair judgment, whichever that may be, after a proper investigation. So stop it with this obstruction of justice!
The Inquisitor brandished her rapier threateningly, her voice shaking with frustration. I am getting flashbacks to, Don Quixote the last time she saw the police doing something.
Did someone say justice?
Dante, without the full picture of the circumstances, Faust advises against further antagonization of a local political authority. I agree with Faust. I get the feeling that she isn't the kind of heartless Inquisitor that goes around indiscriminately executing innocents, like Miss Mayers told us about earlier. I don't think she's anything like the Inquisitors of Endcorp we saw back at Calv.
They were right. We didn't have the full picture of the circumstances. Getting in the way of an Inquisitor, who was clearly a rather significant political entity in the area, was most likely a bad idea.
It isn't the Inquisitor's job to answer your questions. Continue to obstruct me, then...
As the standoff was showing no sense of ending.
Miss Mayers?
I can answer your questions, so for now let's do as the Inquisitor says. Mayers, who'd been hiding behind us ever since we returned to the village, suddenly stepped forward.
Yet, what of thy grandfather, and the villagers?
It's alright. I'm sure this happened only because the Inquisitor doesn't know. What do you mean you answer the questions? About the profound silence. Mayer's response to Otis was but a single concept. I didn't quite grasp its significance, but it seemed to surprise the Inquisitor. That's what they call the calamity that destroyed Iberia. Eh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Combat stage.
Oh, battle.
You.
Decades ago, a great wave ravaged through Iberia. It wasn't long before Seaborns carried by the waves of diminished Iberia's brilliant civilization to this.
The waves. The profound silence must have reduced the village to its current state as well.
Any reason it's called Profound Silence doesn't seem to be the most appropriate moniker for calamity like that. It's because the sea went dead silent before the waves came. Silence then claimed the ships out at sea, then the cities of Iberia, then the Iberians. No one could say a word in face of the ineffable calamity.
What? Just what are you? No average Iberian citizen should be privy to any of the information you're sharing.
And the Church of the Deep is really capitalizing on the pandemonium that followed the profound silence. They pretend to be Aegir from the sea, delude the citizenry of Iberia, and are sowing chaos in their inner lands.
That's why they're arresting the Aegir left and right. I can see the thought process, but...
So it's understandable why the Inquisitor would want to arrest us.
Dante,
This isn't good. Sharing that seems to have been some kind of a taboo-like thing for the Inquisition. The Inquisitor wordlessly stared at Mares. Her eyes were filled with traces of anger and confusion, but
she's afraid.
there was fear in the face of a threat. Not the fear of the terrified, no. It's the fear of someone who's suddenly confronted with something they must destroy.
The High Inquisitor once told me that, should I come across an Aegir who knows too much, there is a sliver of a chance they may be of assistance to Iberia. Cease! Thou art threatening the innocent with thy brandishing of the firearm! But most are seduced by the allure of the sea. Thus, they are, with little doubt, our foes.
You just said there's a chance that they'll help, so like that's not little doubt. I got a bad feeling about this.
Get out of my way, outsider! Final warning.
Run! Quick on the uptick as always, Radia slung Mares over her shoulder and ran past the voters. While the senators scattered in all directions to distract the Inquisitor draws her firearm. Gun! And just blasts fucking Don. And in the midst of all that action, Don Quixote rushed toward the Inquisitor without a moment's hesitation. Don Quixote!
Thou shalt go no further! I, a fixer of justice, shan't abide by as thou persecute them! Forsooth, 'tis a battle delayed, not avoided. This clash is inevitable.
Man, this is playing out exactly like when we went to the other corp with the cops and the hero.
K-Corp?
K-Corp, yeah. Exactly the same way. In that moment of crisis, seconds where they could irrevocably make us a new enemy. Yeah. A large obsidian crystallization in the shape of a monster bursts forth between the two of them.
Who is it this time?
You'll take Calcid. I'm out of vaguely feminine voices.
Okay. You think I am anymore?
I can take Calcid if you want me to. I just don't.
Yeah.
It'd just be Faust again.
Just be fast again.
That's enough meaningless bickering.
Dr. Kalstid.
Do you know her?
Yes, she's Dr. Kalstid, Rhodes Island's medical department's, Dr. Kalstid, behind you!
Gun. Grr.
Shoot first, talk later, is it? The negotiations are over. From this moment onward, Rhodes Island is now operating within legal capacity on Iberian territory, under the Inquisition's authorization.
The Inquisitor fired a blast of that firearm-looking weapon, but the monster summoned by Kaltsit managed to deflect it. And the cannon ball thrown to the weapons punched clean through the wall of the building we stayed the night in, before punching through several other buildings behind it. That was enough to instantly freeze the sinners and the villagers on the spot.
A fucking cannon.
That penetrated the building. Though their walls may be weaker than the head standard for what counts as a building's exterior wall, to punch through so many is...
What a precise point it makes.
Now's not the time to sit around impressed. It is a violation of a taboo to have that much penetrative power in a firearm. We're not in the city, don't lose your heads over this. Taboos don't apply here. My head knows that to be true, yet my heart finds it difficult to be still.
that is enough of that discussion for now. It is advisable that we carefully observe and grasp the situation at hand, instead of deliberating on a taboo the jurisdiction of which does not reach this far.
Yeah, so the situation's gotten slightly better, right? If she's Amiya's friend, she's our ally. Besides, she got some super powerful looking prosthetic gears looking thing too. Is that what you think? I apologize for the disappointment, but I am not on anyone's side. In other words, your particular denomination, ally, might not be entirely correct. However, if I must define my allegiance, then let me inform you that the closest label would be that I am Inquisitor Irene's ally.
Dr. Kalstedt!
Amiya, outsiders, as much as you would like to deny it, the Inquisitor's suspicions are true. While it can be said that the process by which we reached that conclusion was unfair, the conclusion itself, without a doubt, correct.
So they're actually connected to the Church of the Deep?
That is one way to put it. To be more precise, they are connected to the Church of the Deep. They are the Church of the Deep. Perhaps the village itself is a dilapidated church of their congregation. Our village? A church? Just look at the buildings. Why would we even congregate? Your thoughts, Faust?
There are not many resources by which we may analyze the decision. However, the fact that Amiya's colleague has made the same argument as the Inquisitor brings the accused's defense into question. Yet, I can hardly believe that young Myers is lying to us.
She's already lied to you. I guess she didn't lie, but she didn't, stop.
Yeah, Maris hasn't actually said anything
she didn't
directly false.
Yeah, she I guess she didn't lie, but she also
didn't correct them.
Well, what was it? Lie by omission or whatever.
Yeah, it was the lie of omission, but I mean, there was nothing she omitted. She wasn't questioned on anything. She didn't evade any questions.
She was asked, "How do you know about the White Knight's dark days?" And then he goes, "Oh, it's because you got fucking in this one over here."
She was interrupted, but she didn't evade the question.
It's a mission.
I'm on the Mayor's Defense Force.
Okay.
Hold on, you've been chatting plenty with that Inquisition or whatever. How do we know you weren't aligned with them the whole time?
I see. You really are all entirely in the dark. Expected outcome, given that all of you may be from a place far beyond the mental door. As fortune should have it, there's no need for you to know it anyway. Truth is truth, unchanging, with the acceptance of an errant group of outsiders. Besides, soon. Yarr.
I'm sorry. It seems we've mired you in this trouble.
Ah, say no such thing. We shall not abide by one such injustice as perpetrated before our eyes.
The village has already been identified by the Inquisition, and the Inquisition has even brought an ally. It seems quite unlikely that the word shall resolve this conflict. But we promise you, we will take responsibility for what is done. We have benefited far too much from your warmth and kindness not to do so.
Village chief, with a benevolent look, pulls a dagger from his cloth. And I immediately knew what Kalstedt was about to say. Take responsibility. You don't have to go that far.
Blimey! We are now departing for the sea. Yet as we cannot bring ourselves to leave you here, I must ask for you to join us in this journey. Become our bloodkin.
What are you doing? Stop! The unanticipated, or perhaps something to deny this rising dread, ambush did not end there. Damn it, the Inquisitor was right. Berceau, I refuse to believe that you did,
No one ordered him to defend himself.
I guess that was... They just suddenly began shanking the sinners with weapons they had concealed in their clothes. And it seemed that they were coming for me as well.
Ah!
Amiya, on your left! Amiya materialized a black ribbon-like apparition, parrying away the dagger flying in my direction. But another village rushed in, taking advantage of the opening. The charging villager's back made a visceral, crunchy noise. Someone flung him away. Didn't mean to be this late.
Scotty, let me catch you up to speed.
I know the situation. This fishy smell is what I went to investigate earlier. What about the sinners? Unlike Amiya and I, who managed to survive the initial ambush, the sinners weren't doing so well. At least we had a silver lining that the Inquisitor and Kalstedt's quick understanding of the situation and the subsequent retaliation led the villagers away from the sinners. No, I didn't notice any hostility or aggression.
What an odd thing to say. Why would we hold any animosity against you? Why would we intend to kill you? We're not trying to hurt you. We are simply trying to give you a form better suited for the sea. Until we were obstructed.
I apologize if unfamiliar has caused you trouble, Inquisitor.
I won't make a big stink about what happened. What's truly unforgivable is that the heretics tried to take advantage of the ignorance of outsiders to flee the Inquisition. And, even if you are outsiders, any lives lost on Iberian soil are my responsibility. It's my fault. I'm sorry it came to this.
Ah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Eh? Wait, lives lost? We're still alive, you know. We can check out the side room, like... This is most unfortunate, outsider. Ah? What? Both friends are either going to die or turned into Seaborns. The daggers that stabbed them were laced with the flesh of sea terrors. Once that happens, most die and survivors become overrun by themselves, becoming nothing more than another sea monster. What? That's not a very big deal.
The Limbus Company diff.
Everyone was acting this was it for the sinners, but hey, I should be able to deal with it, so I turned the clock. It's not that bad. My only concern was that I didn't know what would happen if I tried to bring them back after they're fully transformed to Seaborns. The Golden Bow helped deal with the whale's politification effects, but I had no idea how it would interact with Seaborn transformations. We should just kill them before they turn.
I know this must be very hard for you, but what?
Sorry to bother you with this, but can you kill my friends? Nah, a perfectly least painful way, you know? What is wrong with you people?
Imagine actually experiencing Limbus Company firsthand.
It's the way sorry to bother you. Can you just, like, kill my friends real quick?
Yeah, you know, it'd be painful.
Oh, sorry, was the last part kind of too much to ask?
Wait, don't give up already. If we bring them back to Rhodes Island, we should be able to do something to help them.
How should I explain this? Guys, can you kill them?
Can you kill yourselves?
Dante, I know what you mean, but I just can't right now. My strength is rapidly deteriorating since the ambush.
It's kind of tingly, too. Maybe they use some kind of paralytic cocktail?
Just trust me this one time. I can show you. I'm not just giving up on them.
But...
Mia, can you understand the outsider speech?
Yes, it's just... they're making a pretty difficult request. They want me to kill all their friends before they transform into Seaborns.
Okay. And before we even knew it, Scotty had already decapitated the sinners, none of whom resisted. Amiya seemed, taken aback by how fast Scotty jumped into action.
What are you doing? Scotty!
Don't let this spook you. This is just how we roll.
Actual peak Limbus Company moment. This is Limbus Company in a nutshell. This is how we roll.
Again, like, everything she's found out about the world we come from. This is how we roll. The clock turns. Decapitated heads creep toward the headless torsos, connecting with the threads of blood. Sensation is that of reversal. It feels as though the sinners and I are severed from the rest of the world, rewinding in isolation. Is this rewinding us going back in time, or are we defying the concept itself? This pain is multifold worse than the sensation of a straightforward decapitation. The pain is in the heart. As the current of death reverses, I sense a deep, crushing isolation.
Their wounds are disappearing.
Resurrection? Metempsychosis? Or time reversal? Puzzling. I have no knowledge with which to interpret this technology. The cost seems to be that the pain is transferred to the one who rewinds. But that seems too small of a price for such a great power. The discussion of whether this can be categorized as power should be explored later. Ow. I couldn't stop shaking. All my limbs were trembling from the icy solitude. Still, I took a moment to collect myself and order the sinners. I don't know what they were thinking, but... we should we're so just gotta fix my fucking tie, hold on. This is a crazy Don Quixote right now.
I think...
this is about to take off the shoes, Don Quixote. You think what, Hunter? What a time for him to get disconnected.
Mic not working?
There you go, you're back. Okay. Hello.
Was my mic not working?
I didn't hear. I heard, I think, and then silence.
Oh, I said I think that's a little bit of the post Kanto 7 Don Quixote creeping through.
We should be able to find out once we take him down. You dare deceive the executive manager, try to take their life?
Prepare thyself, for thou shalt now pay the price for making a mockery of justice.
Yeah, we can't just let this slide, you know?
How unfortunate. I had high hopes that all of you would become fine bloodkins.
Also, think about how fucked the sinners would have been if they actually fought the Inquisitor. With the cannon that pierced several buildings.
Yeah.
그럼에도 이상이요.
The Arcanite's operators are, like, actually just a completely different power scale to the sinners, unfortunately.
이상.
그래. 딱
I know
알고
nothing
죽여버려.
about Arcanite.
13조 이하는
I know what I've
그게 체격이지.
seen from this, and that they're definitely stronger than the sinners.
먹였어.
I know there's not a singer. I don't think there's a sinner that has the multiple building piercing cannon.
ドクターのように優れた式で
Not Angry Don?
That's not a firearm.
Yeah, but I mean, but could
그렇게 시원하게
Don in second Kindred form, whatever, wouldn't have like building piercing or whatever?
빠르게 하는
I think
덜 답답한 법이지.
Because I'm just going off
It's
like the
difficult to power
manifestation
skill-
liquefied Faust.
it's difficult to power skill
시간 끌 것 없이
비수에게
the second Kindred form Don Quixote as you know it.
말로 고작 이 정도 탕면에
But she is very strong.
Yeah.
So
급한 조치.
I would say she might be stronger than the Inquisitor, but
넌 푸름을
probably not the Inquisitor's cannon, you know? Like, I think the cannon hitting her would deal a lot of damage. Though, she might just be able to dodge it. I don't know. I hate power scaling.
True, fair.
I hate power scaling, and power scalers annoy me.
Very fair.
They'll take, like, the most cartoonish extra effect and then
Yep.
extrapolate that into being, like, canon power.
Yeah.
And it's like, brother, that's not how storytelling works.
このままいけば敵を
I don't think I brought it up yet. There's a guy who once a year for like 7 years now will come into the stream and ask power scaling questions.
That's consistent, if nothing else.
What?
방금의 공격
가치 없고
폭신
죽어.
그 자체야.
Thanks, Ricardo.
What
Absolute lusciousness.
blast. The
시간
blast
끌 것
move.
없이 모조리 치워버리죠.
The Calcit watching in utter confusion as Faust summons a Calcit.
찾아. 스스로
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Dante さんの作戦とても効果的でした
The fucking
How long has it been since an enemy has won this many clashes against you in a fight?
a long time. And like, but again, a big part is like they keep just like failing coin flips. It happens.
넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
내 피가 배고파
그만.
했어
That's a lot of opening right there.
그치?
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
넘고 꺾고 제쳐라.
나라도 그렇게
You have been staggered, sir. Die.
이만하면 훌륭해.
Virgilius just confused at where did the sinners go.
勝ちに行きましょう。
가치 없군. 죽어라.
Wait, I think they're heading to... He's running himself into a dead end. Are they seeking refuge at sea? Wait, that's where the ship is. That's where they're headed. They're trying to board the vessel. Masas. Wait, we never told them the ship was repaired, so how?
Ain't it obvious? The whole village is in on it. And then it's surprised they sent someone to spy on us, or they knew a way to get the ship floating even in its broken state.
Vessel? Masas?
Vessel Rebellion de las Masas. The ship is moored at a port in that direction.
Wait, it can't be!
Irene, who's preoccupied with battling the rest of followers of the Church of the Deep who were hiding, quickly gave chase. But Fabius and the villagers were already aboard the repaired ship, slowly departing the harbor of a horde of sea terrors between us and them. How can a vessel of that size become operational this fast?
The exterior, the name, it must have been constructed during the Golden Age of Iberia! But how are we supposed to chase that? What if we built a raft and rode after them?
Thank you, Angwin.
Mate, come on!
Sea's full of terrors. They won't get very far before it sinks. Do you see something, Mamiya? You keep looking that direction. Oh! The vessel Masas soon disappeared in the mist, and the village was left empty with nary a sign of people ever having been there, as though this getaway had all been premeditated. I mean, kind of was. Leaving only mares.
I'm still on the Mayor's Defense Force. Alright, I think that might be a good place to stop for tonight.
Okay.
Halfway through, do the other half next time.
Yeah, that's not bad. Alright, so with all that done, thank you for coming to stream. Thank you for coming. Hopefully see you next time. Have a good night. We'll see you then.